Hello and welcome to another episode of Cascadia Mountain Weather. It's Thursday, April 17th, and we're really starting to get into that spring meltout period, especially with the beautiful sunny weather we've had this week. This is a photo Wyatt took up on Mailbox Peak a few days ago, and we're looking at a south aspect, kind of near North Bend, and it's basically snow-free to 4 or 5,000 feet. So in the Western Cascades, especially on solar aspects, it's really melting out fast. So we're going to take a little deeper look at snow depths. So our snowpack in Washington is anywhere from about 60 to 100%, generally better in the Southern Cascades in the Olympics, maybe the far eastern parts of the state. So, it's not terrible, but definitely not great. Maybe slightly better than last year at this time. Oregon, on the other hand, is doing fantastic. The southern part of the state is closer to 200%, and areas around like Steens Mountain are double their normal peak snowpack. So it's an incredible year for a lot of areas in Oregon, and this will mean probably lots of great Oregon volcano corn skiing opportunities this spring. This is Easy Pass, a high elevation snowtail site in the North Cascades, about 5,200 feet, and it's one of the snowiest places that has any records in the US. So we're up over 80 inches of snowtail snow water equivalent, which is not bad. You can see we're 86% of median, and right around mid-April to May, it hits its peak snowpack typically, and then really starts declining in May. Um, Blewett Pass on the east side of the state at 4,000 feet has a much thinner snowpack, and you can see it melts out really rapidly in the spring as it warms up. So Blewett Pass actually was around 100% most of the year, but then just went off a cliff and has completely melted out already. So east side definitely melting out even faster overall, but low elevation west side's also melting out quickly. So Kwame Pass is going pretty fast. In the last week, we've, or I guess in the last 2 weeks, we've lost almost half the snow depth. That doesn't, we've probably lost a little less than half the snow water equivalent, but the snowpack is really compressing. And we've heard a lot of reports that the snowpack is getting decently consolidated, especially for like mid-April, it's getting decently consolidated.
Great. So we're gonna kind of go into the weather for this weekend. It's not gonna be perfect. Last weekend we had some pretty nice sunny conditions for both days. Or Saturday was a little bit stormier. We're gonna see kind of a mixed bag this weekend as well. Saturday's probably gonna be the better day, with Sunday being a little bit wetter and a little bit stormier as well. We are getting late enough into the season that we generally don't see we tend to see fewer like large powerful storms and more just kind of wishy-washy stuff where you might get some showers, you might get some sun breaks, and things like that. So this was from the forecast that came out this morning. This is in kind of 24-hour increments, and this is precipitation. And you can see that this is kind of through 5 a.m. Saturday. So there's going to be a weak pulse of moisture that might drop maybe up to a tenth of an inch, maybe a little bit more through the Western Cascades, just to kind of enough to wet the ground. Um, and then it will be pretty quiet for most of Saturday until we get later into Sunday, where we can see showers picking up, and we're actually going to see a convergence zone form in the central Washington Cascades. Might end up with like a total of like half an inch to an inch by Monday morning, especially in those kind of central Cascades, that convergent zone, and lesser amounts elsewhere. It's also going to bring cooler conditions as well. If we look at this in kind of 3 hour increments, you can see this pulse of moisture moving in over the night, Friday night into early Saturday, and then it mostly fades. We'll get a chance to look at the clouds as well in a second. And then you can see that we start to pick up again as we get into the morning Sunday. And Sunday really is going to be your showerier day. It should still be some decent sunshine down in the lowlands, but up in the mountains, you might end up being socked in, especially if you're more on the west side. Then you can see kind of this convergent zone forming late the night Sunday into Monday. Like I said, we're going to kind of look at the clouds. So this is 5 p.m. Friday, and you can see this cloud front moving through. This is that kind of weak pulse of showers overnight Friday into Saturday. This will actually spread across the whole state, but not really drop that much moisture. Then it clears out Saturday for much of the day until the clouds start building again late Saturday into Sunday, where the clouds will hang around for much of the day. If we look at Snoqualmie Pass, right around 3,000 feet, this is the National Weather Service point forecast, and you can see it's pretty warm now. That's one of the reasons that we're seeing that melt out really accelerate up there. Um, and you can see that on Saturday and Sunday, we see a pretty significant drop in temperatures. So generally upper 30s to low 40s in the high country with a chance of rain and snow. There might be only snow as the snow level maybe drops below 3,000 feet. You can get a better glance looking at kind of our ensemble forecast for the snow level. So this is 5 a.m. Thursday, 5 a.m. Friday, 5 a.m. Saturday. And this is this first pulse of moisture coming in with the snow level maybe around 5,000 feet, but it's dropping rapidly after the last couple of days where we've been quite warm. And then we're going to see kind of that 3 to 4,000 foot snow level dropping lowest maybe into Monday morning before we start to rise again as we dry off. That does mean that we will see a little bit of snow. So this is the European forecast looking, this is right now kind of Saturday night, and you can see the snow will start to fall in these upper elevations, probably mostly above 4 to 5,000 feet. As we move, this is about 5 p.m. on Sunday now. Maybe a couple inches are going to fall during the day Sunday, and then the heaviest snow will fall in through the early morning hours Monday when that snow level really drops and the convergence zone picks up, maybe up to about 6 inches, maybe a little bit more in the convergence zone, and then 4 or 5 inches towards the North Cascades. This is really kind of North and Central Cascades focus and not so much going down into the South Washington Cascades or Oregon. And then looking at long term, um, looks like we're going to be in pretty standard spring weather. Like I said, the storm train is really kind of slowing down, shifting further north. We're just seeing mostly weak systems. There doesn't seem to be a clear pattern for drier than normal. Maybe there's a chance it'll be a little bit warmer than normal, which is maybe like temperatures in like the mid 60s in the lowlands versus like the low 60s, which is about normal now. And precipitation also looks to be like no real clear signal, just kind of continuing a spring pattern of showers some days and sunshine and warmish temperatures other days as well. So pretty standard spring fare for the next couple weeks.
Well, thanks to everyone for listening, and we hope you have a good weekend.